Tom, how are you?
I'm good, Nor. How are you?
I wish that sometimes I would hit record while we are before we really start talking because listeners, this is how it goes. Hey, hey, how's it going? And you're like, mumble, mumble, mumble. And then I'm like,
And then we
mumble,
usually
mumble.
gossip a little bit, which we did do, and
We,
that
d-
can't be on air.
no, we
And
cannot.
then you'll never know what that is, everyone at home.
A little off mic gossip poo. And then
Mhm.
we turn it on. We turn it on for you guys.
Hello.
Tom, we are going to talk about Beverly Hills. We're going to
Mhm.
talk about Love is Blind.
Of course.
But I would also like to talk about the Real Housewives of New Jersey trailer that dropped yesterday.
Oh my god, so good. It looks I love Jersey.
Mhm.
But I just try to, like, stay away from think pieces about it online.
No, there should be no think pieces about New Jersey because literally nobody is thinking, guys.
No, I know. I don't know imagine writing a think piece about these meatballs.
These
It's just
Jersey tomatoes.
like, "Huh? What? You care that much?"
It's not that deep. They're all idiots. Like, you are thinking deeper for them than they actually think for themselves.
Says 2 people who have podcasts about these shows. I'm gonna have to say that we're not the ones to maybe say that, but
I do psychoanalyze them every week when Jersey's on.
yeah, that's what's fun about it,
Of
but
course.
I don't need to hear your input on my psychoanalysis, okay?
Okay. I also big lols on the people that are reporting on Jersey around the clock, 365, 24/7, all the
They
time.
exist?
Oh my god, they're always popping up, like, as much as I'm like, "Mute, mute," they just show up on my Twitter feed, and they're like, "So and so, look at this TikTok that Melissa did where she's obviously copying, Gia," and it's like, "Guys, get a grip."
Guys, Melissa and Teresa are both flops, that's why it's fun to, like, watch them argue, okay? And don't at
Yeah.
me, please, relax. Before you at me, take a deep breath and say, "I need to relax."
You know what? Write yourself a little text it to yourself, and then
Mhm.
throw your phone in the river, okay?
Completely. Yeah, I mean, I'm also, like, very open about my dislike for Teresa, but, like, why I don't understand tree huggers.
No,
And
I don't
I'm not a gore girl, whatever they call them. Gore
Uh,
girl.
let's go, girls.
Let's go, girls.
So dumb. Anyway, I think that's the other thing. It's like we have to remember that just because you are not a tree hugger does not mean that you are a gore girl. So,
Sounds a lot like gargoyle.
which is why I love it. You can either be a tree hugger or gargoyle.
Or
So,
gore girl.
yeah, or you could just be like a Dolores who's just there to like watch these.
That's me. I'm a Dolores. I love Dolo.
She's sitting back, she's analyzing, she's like, "Whatever, who cares? Whatever." And then she like pops off when she pops off, and then that's great.
Mhm.
I love
Love
her.
her.
What were your thoughts about the trailer?
I really loved this, like, hot mic moment it looks like we have between Teresa and Louis about money.
Mm.
This man is draining her for everything she is worth.
Much like one could have never predicted that Portia stealing her friend's husband and marrying him immediately, and then also silencing her entire family and friends from talking about him could have ended up in a divorce. One could have never guessed that Louis would end up fleecing Teresa for her money.
Right, I mean, there's no way that they're gonna last very long with together and or without prison separating them. Like, something's gonna happen again. Seriously.
Maybe she misses her prison girls.
That's true. You go send
Maybe
her off to be with Jen Shaw and Elizabeth Holmes.
honestly, I mean, and the way you think about it, the age differences, like the youngest child is going into high school. So let's say she does get investigated. It's
Mhm.
4 years of at least this trial business. She's not going to prison for a little while. So by the time she gets there, the youngest is in college. Gia's already an adult. She could run the house. She's the matriarch of the family. Honestly, she's fine. She's going to be okay.
Yeah, by then, she'll be on Summer House, Gia.
Gia will be on Summer House. That's right.
Yep.
Could you imagine?
No, I
I
don't
don't
want that
want
to
it.
happen.
Mm-mm, no. If they're gonna put Gia in there, they should put Raven in there first.
Raven.
Huger.
Raven. See, the Hugers have been off my brain because I've been on a Potomac cleanse. I haven't watched pretty much any of this season,
You
so
missed nothing.
I've heard that. But I do miss those ladies, so I'll probably hop in for the reunion. But has the trip to the DR been fun?
I would say that Karen's having her best season because she's just so funny and
Mhm.
so silly. Like everything she does is just so absurd. But it's a lot of like you could tell that when they were filming Potomac this season, the girls would get together and producers would be like, "Okay, so are you guys going to talk to each other or is and then they're just like sitting there and silently eating because none of them want to be there. Like they're all showing up at the cafeteria to eat a meal and then they're like, let's just let's just go and do
What a
something
fun
else.
show.
It's a shame. It
Yeah.
truly is a shame because these were my favorite ladies. They still are my favorite ladies. I just want them to get it together. Going back to Jersey real quick, I was surprised by the amount of fun and games in the trailer of Jersey,
Mhm.
um, but also pleasantly surprised. It looked like they figured out how to film without Teresa and Melissa being in the same room.
Yeah, I was happy we weren't seeing any Gorga versus Judice fights. That was nice
Mhm.
because I'm kind of I'm tapped out of wanting any more of that. And I agree. And I did you catch that it looks like Danielle like so in the final sequence of the trailer, we see the beginning of the fight that results in a physical altercation between Danielle and Jen.
Yeah.
They cleverly caught a moment of Danielle just like staring at glassware next to her. Did you see this?
No, I didn't, but those editors are
Go
so
back
good.
and
They're
watch
like
it and you will catch it. She stares at like her empty vodka soda and she's like, "Hmm, I
Okay,
could pick this up and I
because of
could throw it at her head."
well, the best thing about it is, like, it's not real glassware, it's plasticware looking like glassware, and so I
Mhm.
think that's also what's hilarious is because I mean, this fight was last summer, but it came up in the papers, and it was, basically that she was assaulted with, like, a Solo cup.
Right, it's not actually glass. You're right, you're right. I'm excited. I love there's only a couple shows where I'm like, violence is the answer, and one of them is in New Jersey.
Yes. In New Jersey, I'm like, "It's fine. They're okay with it.
It's how
It's
they
okay."
communicate.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm excited to see, Jackie Schneider try to see if she can get back on the show by being Teresa's friend. And I'm excited to see Danielle and Jennifer fight with each other because those are two like low stakes people where like I'm like, I don't care who wins. I'm just enjoying this fight.
Yeah, I always have really liked Jackie a lot, and I'm not sure where I'm gonna land with her doing this, but props to you for trying to stay to collect the check by befriending one of the most villainous people in reality television history.
Yeah. Could you imagine Teresa on Traders?
To be like, why? Who should I kill? I don't know what to do, Louis.
No, I think that, like, she would be as dumb as, like, Sheree, but she would be so offended if, like, one of her friends was murdered, and she would, like because she goes from, like, "What? Huh? What?" to, like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." Like, she turns into, like, the Incredible Hulk, the true
Mhm.
Incredible Hulk, and so I would love to see that because, Larsa has hints of that. Larsa talks in baby girl voice until she's like, "You're a weirdo," or whatever, and so I love that when the girls flip between those 2.
I agree. It would be entertaining, but she would make Sheree look like, I don't
Albert
know,
Einstein.
Albert Einstein, the king of Mensa or something. Like, I don't even know. She Sheree has 1 point of gameplay, and Teresa would have 0 and lower. I don't know what she would do. I feel like she'd vote people and be like, You took my red wine glass last night, and I hate you for that.
Yeah, it's
I'm voting
fine.
you out."
That's okay. Or she would just vote with the crowd as Sheree has.
But Sheree hasn't always. Sometimes she's been, like, voting for randos
Randomly.
too. Like, she voted for Kevin a lot in the beginning just to
Kelvin.
be like yeah, for Kelvin a lot in the beginning because she was just like, "I don't like you." And it's like, "Well, same, but, like, that's not the point of the game."
Are you excited tonight's, finale of Traders? And apparently they're also dropping the reunion at the same time?
Yeah, right after, which is crazy because they just filmed it last week.
It's been 7 calendar days.
Good for them turning that shit around. They
Yeah,
must got things
exactly.
to do.
Yeah.
Are wait, but in my brain, we're about to, like, run out of Bravo programming, right?
So I think that all we're gonna have left to watch is Potomac.
No, right, that's what I'm saying, like, we're running out.
Yeah. Beverly Hills is done, Miami is done. Did you watch The Bedded on Blonde? I didn't.
I didn't, Nor, but thank you for asking.
And I get that, like, three-part, like, little stupid show, as filler space, and then what do we have? We got the Summer Houses, we got the Vanderpumps, and I'm
Just weird
sure
that we have no housewives on. We
I
will have kind of no housewives going.
yeah, for 2 months.
I know, I just think doesn't that feel weird?
Every week I watch Potomac, and I feel like at the end of it, they're gonna say, "Next week on the finale of Real Housewives of Potomac," and they don't because there's still more to show apparently on this show where nothing has happened. So, I'm like, they just filmed a reunion for Potomac, and then usually that means, like, it'll air 2 months later, and I'm like,
We can't have 2
we
months.
cannot have 2." How much what? There's literally nothing happening.
Mm-mm,
Mm-mm.
no.
Um what was I gonna ask you about the other programming on Bravo? Well, I forgot. So it doesn't matter. It must not have been that important. Before we talk about the Beverly Hills reunion, do you want to talk about Love is Blind?
Yeah, let's do it.
Your little gift that you posted was so funny of the two girls sitting at Clay and AD's wedding, just being like, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean well, thank you. Thank you so much, that took a lot of artistry.
I'm gonna
No,
have to ask you later how you got that shot. Where did you find the gift from? Do you have a
sure, I just kinda, like, took my iPhone and filmed my computer, and then that's why it's kinda grainy, and then, like, I just looped it, and then here we are. Um, I fell for it. Like, I really thought Clay was gonna say yes.
Yeah, oh, spoiler alert. One of the best things about this Love is Blind season is that they wrapped her up. They said, usually like the first Love is Blind, like the wedding was like 4 fucking episodes. Like,
Mhm.
I love that the fact that I woke up yesterday, I looked at Netflix and it said 1 episode, 1 hour and 30 minutes. And I was like, "Oh, beautiful." I love that. I love that I only need to watch one thing. I was bummed about how it opened up because I needed more from these toxic pair, Jimmy and Chelsea.
I've never rooted so hard for a straight white man like I have for Jimmy.
Frowning ass Megan Fox was just so funny to me. Just like watching her set her life on fire. It was like a microcosm of like 10 seasons of Lindsay Hubbard.
Yes, yeah, that's a good comparison. The way I'm, like, mad for Jimmy about her bringing up this, like, hookup situation. I just think
Yeah.
it's so fucked up coming from someone who is so wildly insecure. So for those that don't know and want a little recap, Jimmy, hooked up with one of his best girlfriends
Yeah.
once
Yeah.
and told Chelsea off camera and was like, "This did happen. I'm trying to be 100 with you about everything, but, like, I don't wanna make this a point of contention on camera for us because, like, she did not, like, sign up to be on this show, but, like,
Yeah.
we are getting married, so, like, you should know everything about me, but
Correct.
this did happen. So I
Yeah.
want you to know, happy to talk it through, happy to do whatever you need to make it better, but, like, it did happen." And instead of hiding it, when Chelsea gets martini drunk, she brings it up on camera, and that was
She's
a
sh
huge line in the sand for Jimmy, and I get it. He's like, "What the fuck? Like, I'm doing nothing but being nice to you, and you are betraying my trust." I'm like, "This is crazy. I've never ridden so hard for some basic ass white guy. I, like, really haven't. It's really frustrating to my soul, but it's so mean to him." And I thought he
Yeah,
afforded her a lot of grace, a lot of
he did.
times.
I mean, he did call her clingy, but
Eh,
this
nor.
I know, but she was.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was nice, but it was truthful.
The fact that we were rooting for this rectangular headed, no lip motherfucker was really just a surprise, not on our Love is Blind bingo card, but Chelsea did not make it easy to like her. She was a mess. Like, part of me wishes that she had picked Trevor so that we could have seen the fallout of Chelsea and Trevor and then just really watched her fall apart because, as you
Mhm.
know, Trevor was just on the television show to boost his fitness program. Are you aware?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah. Um, Wait, can we talk about the couples that didn't make it? Because I didn't talk about Love is Blind last week, and
Yeah.
Jeremy and Laura, right?
Mhm. Diabolical.
Amazing. I was like, give Laura a TV show. Put Laura on Summer House. You know what? They're in North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever there is, but send her to fucking Republic. Have her work there at
Or, like,
Southern
let's do, like,
Hospitality.
a Myrtle Beach summer house or something Summer House Myrtle Beach or something, I don't know,
Yeah,
and
give
put
me
her
give
on
me
it.
something.
So, I don't care for her. I wanna
Okay.
she rubbed me the wrong way with something she did,
Okay, tell me
and
what she
I
did.
feel like we aren't talking enough about it because she was with a full douche
Uh-huh.
canoe,
Yeah.
but I don't fuck with girls and gays and guys who, like, talk mad shit behind people's backs and then, like, are really nice to them, like, and pretend that they're besties, and she did that to Chelsea. She was talking to Jess
That's
about how
true.
she needs to swoop in on Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't wanna be with Chelsea, and that Jess has a really good shot of getting with him,
Yeah.
and then, like, is buddy buddy with Chelsea on camera in their scenes together. I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry, but, like, I if I watched that back, I would be like, I have a problem with that." And she it just I don't I think that she likes the drama of it all, and I don't think it's her first rodeo doing something like that. But
Oh, it's a
so
great
it's
point.
team her obviously on the Jeremy. I'm very much team her on the Jeremy going out with Sarah Ann situation. I just am not like a diehard Laura because I did not care for her behavior behind Chelsea's back.
Okay, full
I don't even
disclosure.
ride hard for Chelsea.
Yeah, of course. Full disclosure, I do watch Love is Blind at 1.5 speed. So it's sometimes like because
That's
they're
like Alvin and the Chipmunks to you.
no, it's not even that. Like they just and especially now they all talk like influencers now. So I can't deal with that. And like so
Mhm.
I watch it a little bit faster. Now I did maybe like I was annoyed with Jessica and Laura meetup because I was shocked that Jessica saw what Jimmy looked like and was like, "Yeah, I still want to fuck him."
Yeah.
So I may have just been like too irritated with that, but yes, it is weird that Laura was like, "Oh yeah, there's a chance for you to jump in there with Jimmy," and then like at the same time is mad at the fact that like Sarah Ann is swooping in on
Right.
her
Right.
weirdo, psycho, like sociopath fiance who was apparently engaged to somebody like 2 weeks before the show started and was living with somewhere else. And the house that he showed was a staged house. Like that was not his house. That was just like an apartment or a house or something that he was renting that he got somebody to stage.
Yeah, and he reminds me of there's this documentary on Netflix that came out a little bit ago where this man killed his wife,
Of
but,
course.
like, did a long haul on, like, the lying about it and, like, staging of everything. I can't remember what it's called. It was definitely on Netflix, but, I mean, that's kind of like a very general
It's so
thing, but I
general.
was like,
Yeah.
it feels like something he would do, like, murder, keep it a secret, say she's on vacation, say she's in Bali while he's just trying to keep up with the bills, and in reality, she's, like, underneath the house.
Oh my god, dark stuff. But yeah,
He
yeah,
gives me
he
that vibe.
Yeah, he would dig a hole and put it in, and then he would buy the cement and, like, actually make the floors look beautiful afterwards, like, you would
Yeah.
never but, Sarah Ann, our little patriot mama,
I'm a patriot.
could you imagine somebody, like, really openly saying that? "I am a patriot," like, I hope the football team fan? No. Apparently
If some
just
if someone's saying they're a patriot, it's tough stuff. It almost I think you should be thrown in prison.
it's dark-sided. We should find out where Sarah Ann was on January 6th.
She was definitely at a bar watching the insurrection, like, in a celebratory fashion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was rooting them on. She was
Mhm.
like, that is what we need to do. But one of the funniest things from that episode was with the picnic was Laura drunk as a skunk, fucking sobbing, while Jeremy and Sarah Ann are on jet skis in the background, just having the
Yeah, on, like, a fisheye lens where they look crazy.
and that in those moments I say, the show is so good.
Well, something I love about Love Is Blind, truly, is that the second this season ends next week after the reunion, my brain Men in Blacks them from my life
Wipes them out of my brain forever.
forever. I will never I could not name anyone on previous seasons. Like, I can describe, like, a couple's general, like, essence, but, like, outside of Cameron and what's her face from season 1,
Which you're like, I don't even remember what her name was.
and then
Laura?
there was that
Lauren?
guy I do remember that guy Barnett because he was a scary Trumper and
Yeah.
his, like, scary Trumper wife, but,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm literally, like, blanking. Like, I remember there's that Pilates woman who was with that man, that
If I
African man who cheated
yeah.
on her after the show. I forget his name.
Yeah, I think if I was to really rack my brain, I could tell you their names, but much like when I change my password on my computer and forget it 2 minutes later, I don't remember anything from Love Is Blind as
Mm-mm.
soon as the show is over.
No, no.
No, no,
That's
no.
okay for me, okay?
That's okay.
It's good
Um, so this final episode, Jimmy and Chelsea cut it off. We got down to nothing. We started with like 6 couples out of the pods, right? It was like 5, yeah. Did you see the stuff about Ken and Brittany?
No?
What I loved is that at the picnic, nobody even asked about them. Like,
Okay, so I thought it was weird that no one asked about any of the like, we watched Chelsea and Jimmy have mental breakdowns, and the next scene is, Amy and AD, like, holding hands, skipping through, like, their bachelorette party, like, holding tequila shots, and I'm like, "Oh my god, whoa, what's happening? Do we just, like, forget that other people existed?"
I love that. They much like us, once a person is off the show, they're like, "I don't remember this person anymore."
Mhm, I
They're
agree.
done. They're done. Um, Jimmy, there are people, yeah, there are people on the internet saying that we wish that Jimmy had taken it to the altar just so that we could have seen Chelsea really like go all the way cuckoo banunu, as you say. But I didn't realize that not going to the altar was an option on this show. And I think that I like this little new fun twist. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I like
No,
it.
that's the problem with the show is the stakes of getting married are bizarrely low because you could like, who's saying you ha no, it's not like you have, like the reason Married at First Sight, the concept on itself works a little bit better is that they get married at the beginning,
Uh-huh.
and then they have an opportunity to get an annulment at the
Mhm.
end.
Yeah.
I kinda think they should copy them, and they should get married right after the pods, like, they walk in their wedding dress down the aisle and get married.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think it would hold up a bigger it would just cause more drama.
Yeah, exactly. And
But
I think
when it's
yeah.
at the end, like, you could just be like, I, because Jimmy essentially said to Chelsea, like, "I think you're my person," which I can't believe he still said that,
Yeah.
but I just can't see us at the altar right now.
Yeah.
Which Chelsea heard that as, "I'm the ugliest woman in the world," I guess, but, like, which
Bless.
is heartbreaking, and we've all been there.
Uh-huh.
Um, but he was saying to her, like, "I wanna keep dating," at his initial intention was, like, not breakup, just like, I can't get married right now."
Yeah, and I'm 2 thoughts about it because it's like it is, at its core, the difference between men and women, right? Like, where like, as a woman in a relationship with a straight man now for 15 plus years,
Mhm,
there is this thing that happens where you go to your partner and you say, "Hey, man, I would really like X, Y, and Z." And your partner here is I think she's saying she wants X, Y, and Z. But what if I give her close to X, Y, and Z? I think she'll be fine with that too. And a lot of times women are like, okay, it was close enough, I guess. So this is
mhm,
fine. But then a lot of times you're like, no, I specifically asked you for a thing and you did not give me that thing. You like got close to it and then said no. So, like, yes, some of these women are legit going into the pods looking for husbands. Chelsea is one of those women. And she wants you to be fucking obsessed with her. And she wants you to think that she's the best thing in the world. And she wants no criticism. And she wants like a husband who is head over fucking heels. Right. And it's like Jimmy, even being a human being and being like, hey, I think it's like fair to talk about like the problems that we've had. I think that we should figure it out. And she's like, I walked on eggshells for you. It's like, well, no, this is not how a relationship works. And the funniest thing was that she just kept saying, well, this is marriage. Like, that's what you're supposed to do in marriage. So it's almost like she was saying, like, we should get married and then have this fight later. Like, can't we just figure this out later? But bless her and her cute little jeans and white sneakers at the roller at the fair or wherever they
The
were.
amusement park, yeah.
The amusement park,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it really troubles me when I interact with someone like Chelsea who's so, like, unable to receive
Yes.
feedback,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she is ready at all times to make any sort of comment on her behavior into, like, "I'm a victim of your awful, visceral attitude." Like, she just it's like, "Whoa, you cannot sit in your own skin." It makes me upset. It makes me sad because I look at her and she's beautiful. She has
Yeah.
so much going for her, and I when she's fun, I think she's awesome. Like, I
Yeah. She's
don't
made
know
me
why.
lull.
She did, me too.
Yeah.
She's so fun with her girlfriends, and, like, I can see why people wanna be around her. I just hate that she goes into this mode when, like, men are around. I don't know. Maybe she needs to hook up with a woman.
Possibly, but also all the things you described about all the things that make Chelsea a scary person to know IRL is why she made good reality TV. Like,
And
this
to
is
that, cheers.
perfect. And to that, we say cheers to that. Unfortunately, the soundboard is not with us today, but we can
Yeah.
imagine Mary M. Cosby
Cheers
saying,
to that.
cheers to that. Um, Johnny and Amy, real quick, a spoiler alert, they do get married. Johnny still unclear about condoms and how they work. Um, as a person who's never been on birth control, has been
Mhm.
married for 14 years and only has 2 children but has had a lot of sex, condoms work, guys. There's other ways to make sure that you don't get pregnant.
Okay, not to, like, out your and if this is too
No,
much to
no,
say.
go ahead, ask me.
No, 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 it's not asking, it's just something I am aware of. I know that you guys, like, waited for marriage to be with each
Yes,
other,
correct.
and that's what's different, though, about this situation that my brain goes crazy. These 2 are outside of their relationship, were fucking up a storm, and then all of
Oh,
a
that's
sudden,
true. Yes.
together, they're like, "Well, we can't."
Yeah, and I'm like,
I'm like,
other
"Wait, what?"
yeah, and it's also weird because it's like, Jimmy, other people or sorry, Johnny, other people have had sex with Amy.
And
She's not gotten pregnant.
I have a feeling he's shot up into a lot of
I
ladies.
think he's only shot up into a lot of ladies because he was
Yeah,
like, "I've only had sex with people always on birth control." Like, I thought women always are on birth control. I'm like, "You have 2 sisters." Like, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand. He's a dummy from New Jersey. Like, it's my people.
I have an off pod item about him that I heard.
Oh.
All I'll say is that I'm not sure if they're actually together right now.
You think so?
Yeah, I got intel from someone, but I really cannot say it on here, but I'm just gonna say there was some weird things that happen that make it seem like he may not be with her, or he's just being a dummy on social media and didn't know what
Oh,
he was doing.
no. Not sweet Amy. She was such a her dad, they're so
And
cute.
once again, allegedly, and this may have been misconstrued, but I did hear something, which is always fun to say.
Maybe you confused him for some other little
I didn't,
stout
unfortunately.
ginger from New Jersey. Clay and AD. Sometimes I wonder, like, I hear like I'm a millennial. I would even say a geriatric millennial. And I am not a TikToker, but TikTok does make its way to Instagram and Twitter for me to consume.
Mhm.
And sometimes I wonder, like, when people who only speak like they're on TikTok, like when they become grown-ups, what will that sound like? And we got a glimpse of that with AD and Clay at the altar and how they were interacting with each other the entire time. They were like,
I know, she was like, "Purr, period. Let's go, period,
she said,
purr."
she said, I mean, the material though, like, what is
Like, "Well,
happening?
that part, period, purr. It's giving husband, purr."
Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know. I mean, oh my god, some woman, she's probably gonna hear this because she's a listener, but
Great, love this.
someone came into my in on the comment of my meme post and was like, "She doesn't work. Clay's better off without her." I started to type jump scare, and then I was like, It's not worth it. It's 7 a.m."
So aggressive. She's a
I was
broke
crying
bitch.
laughing. I was crying laughing reading it. It doesn't work. Clay's better off without her.
Is it Vicky Gunvalson? Like, who
Yeah.
left you that comment?
Oh, but Clay, I'm like, I wanted to write back also and be like, Clay like disappears and goes to his job, quote unquote, of flipping, quote unquote, houses, quote unquote. So I'm like, we, uh,
But also he's in tech. Like, I don't know what his job is.
but AD was a full time Patriots cheerleader who,
Yeah, an
and
actual patriot.
yeah, talk about a Patriot, mama. No, no, but so one of my good friends, Emma, she was a Jets cheerleader for a long time.
Mhm.
And we would go to the games and stuff, and it's like a great gig.
Yeah, it
And I
seems like it.
no shade to the Jets, which they she didn't go to the Super Bowl, but,
You don't need to whisper that. We all know that about the Jets.
yeah, I know, that's true. I guess you're the Jet I don't know how many Jets fans you got in the comments here.
Oh, a lot. It is New Jersey. You know, I live, like,
No,
15 minutes from Jets training
yeah,
facility.
I've been to the facility before.
Well, there you go.
Um, it's not next to Meadowlands, it's, like, in a different place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's over here by where I live.
Great, very good. Well, so my point is, like, she has a good job to whoever
Yeah.
commented on my Instagram post. That was a good job, and now she's finding what her next thing's gonna be, and guess what? She's on a reality show where she's gonna make a ton of money, so let her live.
Exactly. Anyway, spoiler alert, Clay and AD don't get married. Because Clay, after kikiing and hee-heeing and ha-haing and period purring at each other.
I know. That was sad, the way he was like, "Yeah, absolutely, go off, wife. Give me 1 second, I'm about to dump your ass, okay?"
At one point, like, I wish that Clay had been like, "Yeah, I can't do this, ah." Like, I wish that he had just really leaned into.
And then you know how the kids, like, cover their mouth and laugh now? Like, not it's giving breakup, nah, and then, like,
Not you ghosting me at the altar, ah, like, look at us, 2 millennials who don't really actually know how any of those phrases work.
no, oh my god, it's scary out here.
I don't understand the youth, but it was really funny. Now, I do love the MVPs for me on Love Is Blind, especially this last episode, were Clay's mom and AD's mom. What?
Clay's mom should host a TED Talk.
She should host a TV show.
Yeah, move over Nick and Vanessa, like, let's get Clay and AD's moms in there as the hosts of this goddamn television show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, "You know what? There's a camera, it's my moment to tell my ex-husband that he's a piece of shit."
Oh my god,
I was like,
electric.
"Let's go for it. This is the ultimate, I got you."
Yeah. Let's put a period per on that.
Yeah, if I was in the background of that, I'd be like, "Period." Mouth, diggle, diggle, diggle. It's giving icon. It's giving legend. And then a sped up version of a Lady Gaga song would play in the background as we both danced offset.
What I did love is the way that after the after Edie gets dumped at the altar, he says no, Clay says no, and she turns around and she looks at her mother and she like points to her mother, and then her
Mhm.
mom gets up and it's like they're like, ladies, let's get in formation. They all just sort of like stomp off the altar. I was like, oh god, this is hot.
Oh, I'm obsessed with all of them.
So hot. But unfortunately, AD, she gets a visit from Clay, and Clay is like, yeah, hey, so we're still gonna do this, right? And she's like, no, 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 but the internet has already confirmed that those
Ooh,
those 2. Mhm.
they're together still?
Yeah, there was, like, a Thanksgiving video that popped up and
In their defense, though, like, I understand Clay's point of view to be like, "I
totally.
cannot marry you right now. I'm on television in real life learning and realizing that my father is awful, and I
Yes.
don't know how to deal with it, and
Yes.
I cannot marry you until I know I can be married in a way that you deserve," you know? Like, so I understand his point of view. I just think I would have rathered her not period for, like, 5 minutes before he was like, "It's giving breakup." That's my only thing. It's just hard to come back from that way.
Oh god, you're right, yeah.
But when
Yeah,
AD was like, "I only am gonna be in a if I'm in a wedding dress, like, that's it," or she said something like that, like, I don't
yeah.
know, she's just like, "I'm in this dress, like, now is the moment." Like, but I'm like, "Is it you'll have a much better wedding not on Netflix
Yeah, with, like, 7 people.
or 700 people, and you can,
Yeah.
like, get litty."
Yeah, also, I hate this happens on Love Is Blind a lot. I hate when they say stuff like AD said it. She said, "I just didn't think that this would happen for me." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, you're the one who is also in the relationship getting married. So this idea that, like, this isn't happening for me, it highlights, like, just how sad some of these women are and how they're, like, waiting to be proposed to by men who will, like, are willing to, like, do the whole thing with them. It just
Mhm.
makes me sad. It's giving, internalized misogyny, you know, and I kinda hate it.
Period.
Period.
Wait, so I had an idea.
Yes.
Speaking of period, and maybe lack thereof, let's swing bigger and go with a bunch of old people season.
I
Old
would
women and older
love that.
men.
I have actually been thinking about that too. Like, I think there needs to be a golden bachelor type situation in Love Is Blind. Like, I think it needs to be people in their like 40s and 50s, even 60s, just being like, you know what? I like for whatever reason I'm single and I want to get
Mhm.
married because I do feel like at that point in your life the chances of you settling down are higher. You can't have a 25-year-old fucking middle school principal like coming on TV and pretending like they want to get married
Right,
tomorrow.
right.
You know, so
And I think a lot of older people who don't know how to date online or, like, try to, like, I think they would be more interested in doing something like this than people who are on TikTok all day, can just, like, stalk someone on TikTok and be like, "I wanna date them," and DM them. Like, people meet on social media and, like, all forms outside of dating apps. Like, an older person needs tools to, like, meet other older single people, and I think it'd be
yeah,
really sweet,
it
and
would.
I still think they would bring drama.
Yes, and I think that there is, like, less chances of them than, you know, being like, "Oh, I'll just find you on Facebook later." They
Right.
don't know how to find people on
No.
Facebook.
And even if it was, like, 50 and up,
Yeah.
like, I still think we would have a much more interesting television program.
Yeah, and guess what? The people in their 50s, horny. Horny,
Horny.
okay? Yeah. So and Nick and Vanessa would be so annoying about it too, but at least then they would stop asking like, "When are you gonna have a baby?" You know? And then
I
they
would
could
love if they put them in old age makeup.
Tom, so condescending. They're like, "Hey, we're Nick and Vanessa, and we look a little different, but we don't want you to feel too ugly." So
Period.
stupid. You wanna talk about, Beverly Hills?
Let's.
I'm really enjoying the reunion. I usually don't.
Yeah, I love to see Dorit kind of be the butt of everyone's comments. That's fun. I love that we got receipts of Andy yawning every time she speaks. That was pretty funny.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle is continuing to Kyle, pretending that she's shared everything about herself, even though she hasn't.
No.
And yeah, I'm having a good time.
And it's I mean, I guess they're gonna get into this in the 3rd episode, but it is weird that we're, like, 2 episodes of this reunion in, and no one has been like, "Yeah, so Kyle, it's not so much that we're confused about you not wanting to be married to Mauricio anymore, it's whether or not you are fucking this lady. Like, you had a music video with her, you're getting tattooed" like, they keep saying, like, "The tattoos and working out," and it's like, "No, no, no, let's be specific." let's be specific and talk about what's going on here. It's like,
Well, I think it's hard for them to talk about it though because it was never something like the beginnings of their relationship was while they were filming the show. So
yeah,
I think it's gotten much more serious post show or towards the end of filming. So I think there's not as much content from the actual television program.
you're right. And the reunion is more about what happened on the season and not
Right.
so
But I think
much.
they are going to get there. Obviously, we see some teasers for that at the back end of the reunion on part 3, but, yeah, I think that's probably why, but I do think we'll get somewhere with that.
I think that they're waiting to drop this 3rd episode where Kyle's gonna be like, "Yes, I am in a relationship with Morgan."
Yeah.
Because she's been so, like, lazy about, like, pretending like she's not,
Mhm.
and even everything, like, I feel like maybe that's maybe why Kathy is coming, like, why is Kathy there? Why is Kathy coming?
To support Kyle on her coming out journey, of course, it makes Kathy look like not a Republican.
Yes. You know, one of my favorite things about Kathy, number 1, is, all the shots of her getting her makeup done and just talking, looking like an absolute ghoul. Loved it.
Yep.
Well, sleep paralysis demon. But I love that she calls Mauricio Maurice. She refuses to call.
I I lost my mind. So, if you're a Housewives historian, okay, like Nora and I are, I know that most of you listening are. The first time we heard Maurice was actually not even from Kathy, but from Kim.
Mhm. Mhm.
Back in, like, season 2 or 3 when they were still fighting about the house after, like, the breakdown in the limo, the aftermath of that. She, like, yells at Maurice and was like, "Maurice?" Like, this is a name that goes around, like, so it's clear that Kim and Kathy both call him Maurice. Which
Like, we just
Maurice is a hilarious name. Like, Maurice has a top hat and a cane and, like, a little mustache. And
yes.
he tied someone to the railroad tracks.
Yes. It's like or he's like an elderly man who, like, works in the library. Like, it's a Maurice wait, was that not Belle's dad's name?
Uh, yeah. Is he was that her dad or her grandpa? The old man,
The
yeah.
old man, the
Father figure,
caretaker.
yes.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
father figure. That was his name was
Period.
It's so it is so funny to me that, like, they keep calling him Maurice because he's like because like, Mauricio is, like, the name that he has, right? Like, that's his he looks like a Mauricio, like, he's so, hot in that way, but Maurice
Maurice. Come over here, Maurice.
and also Kyle calls him Mo, but Kathy calls him Mao.
I can't. I really can't. His name isn't that hard to pronounce. Mauricio is not an uncommon name.
I know. And she's been with this man for, like, 27 years.
I
You know
know.
that it's been 27 years of Kathy Hilton just being like, "What's his name?"
Mao? His name's Mao?
Or Kyle being like, "No, Kathy, we just call him Mo." And then her being like, "No, you should call him Mao because his name is Mau. So you should call him Mao." And so she only calls him Mao.
Yeah. It's definitely it.
Oh.
She eats off her TV tray.
It's like the image of it.
I know. I can't.
Her little TV tray tuna fish sandwiches.
No, I have a little bit of an issue with something, and that is why the fuck is Mao, Maurice, whatever you call him, not on the reunion?
Yes, great question. Like, if we are talking about Kyle's marriage, why are we not married to medicining this and bringing Mauricio to the reunion and having them all talk? Like,
And then we won't talk about it. Married to Medicine, Stella reunion.
okay, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really watched it because I got upset that they voted Kyle a quad off the island.
Oh, really? It's been a good season
I
even
got
still.
sad. And then I watched the last episode, which did make me crack up. But I have not watched the reunions. But thank you for the heads up. I'm gonna watch it now.
You should go back and watch at least the whole last trip. They did their couples trip they did
Oh, the
was really
Hilton Head
funny.
trip.
It's
Okay.
just funny because Sweet Tea is something else.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, great point. Mauricio should be there, but it is weird that he's not. But Beverly Hills, have they ever had the husbands on?
They definitely used to.
Did they?
Mhm, they definitely did because I remember Ken Todd being there and Mauricio, and PK's definitely been at a
Oh,
reunion
yes, PK
before.
has been at the reunion before.
PK talked to Erica, like, to her face about the underwear
Underoos.
situation or lack
Yes.
thereof.
Yes.
Um, yeah, they've definitely thrown them in there. Not in a while, but, like, this isn't a hot topic conversation, like, we need the, like, Mama Joyce treatment where you come out for just, like, a segment and go back, you know?
Yeah, get Anne-Marie off the couch, make space for Maurizio.
You said 0 words this episode.
At one point, Andy asked her a question about, like, money or something, about, like, how somebody was talking about their rich relatives or something like that, or to
Yeah.
get Sutton talked about her money, and they were like, "What do you think, Anne-Marie?" And I was like, "Oh, she's there, okay. Alright, great."
Yeah, well, so I have a theory that she might get another season.
What? No.
I don't know. I think she could get in the mix one more time.
I think the only reason they could bring her onto the season to next season would be to use her as ridicule because of all the stuff
Oh,
with
that's
the
sweet.
as all the stuff related to the anesthesiologist, and nurse anesthetician turf war, and also which is very uninteresting, but also all the stuff circling her husband. So I wouldn't be surprised if they bring her on the show and Sutton's like, "So, Anna Marie, what's going on with your husband?" Like, and then, all of that, which is like dark, sad stuff.
It is dark and sad, but I also kind of think, like, there's an argument to being like, if you wanna get ahead of it, you could just do it
Yeah,
on the show.
that's
I don't
true.
know.
Yeah.
I'm not I thought she had a great apology for Sutton. I thought that was a very sincere moment the part 1 of the reunion.
Mhm.
I didn't like, obviously, the arguing for Dorit as being not racist, but
No.
I'm a white man. Who am I to say what's right and wrong in that department? But it just gave me a little, like, confusion in that front. Um, but I don't know. I I could just kinda see it. I don't know what it is about her presence there that I'm like, I could see you friend oving maybe.
She's got a Teddy Nat-like quality, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
And she's just, like, annoying enough to not let the mouse go, and so and look, Beverly Hills is a franchise where we've had seasons upon seasons of dark stuff happening with husbands and us pretending like it's not, and lots of questions, and that's, like, sometimes when Beverly Hills does its best work, when we have other things going on off camera that they're trying to,
mhm.
like, slowly bring on, so it's possible that she could be good. Um, but me, I wouldn't care for it.
No, I'm not rooting for this
No,
decision. I
no,
wanna
no,
be
no, no,
clear about
no.
that. I just could see it for some reason. I had a little epiphany after last reunion that I could see Andy wanting to give her another shot since she just, like, wasn't even really in this season at all,
Yeah,
but
it's
I don't know.
possible. Um, they talk about this on this, part of the reunion, they talked about, like, Kyle's sobriety and her marriage and all the people's and her response to people's criticism of it, and this is why Kyle loses me every single time, is that Kyle gets to ask questions to people, and when those same questions are asked of her, whatever answer she gives, she wants people to be okay with it, and she wants them to let it go, but when she asks people questions, she's always like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? What's going on? I just want you to be open and honest." And like she never accepts people's answers for whatever they are. She always
Mhm.
thinks it's something deeper. And so nobody else is allowed to ask that of Kyle. We're just supposed to accept it and then she's supposed to go, "Well, what I'm not supposed to talk about the intimate things that are happening behind closed doors." And like, "No, I think you are." And also, are you having sex with that lady or not?
Have you eaten out a lady in the last 6 months?
Yeah. Are you down for a little esophagussy or pussy or whatever?
Please not esophagus-y. Please.
You saw it,
I
right?
on the what'd you say?
Did you see Son's esophagus?
I did, and I don't want to acknowledge it
You
'cause it was so
screamed. You said, "I'm a gay man and I do not need to see whole."
it's just, like, a lot on Maine.
It's a vagina.
No, I found the sobriety conversation wonderful about, like,
Yeah.
Kyle's honesty about it, but then I really hated on the flip side of it, Dorit and, Sutton's conversation about how They were implying that she the whole season that she is, like, blackout morning, noon, and night, and for
Yes.
Dorit to be like, "Well, no, I don't think you're an alcoholic, but I don't know."
Yeah, well,
Fuck
this
off
is
with that. What the
yeah.
hell does that mean?
Well, it's so funny because it's, like, later on, she says, "Words have weight." And Garcelle's like, "Oh, words have weight?"
In the words of Garcelle, "Say this is what I'm
This
talking
is
about."
what I'm talking about. Did you make that mashup yet that I asked? I requested a specific
Oh,
mashup.
I know, it's there's a level of energy that goes into things like that I haven't acquired yet.
I need a mashup of Denise saying, "You know what I'm talking about," and
You know what I'm talking about, and see, this is what I'm talking about. I'll work on it this weekend. It'll be a
that
side
is that
project.
would be like the voices of my anxiety when I'm like proving to myself like like when I am deluded and I'm stressed out and I'm just telling myself that whatever I believe is right, that those are
Mhm.
the two voices. You know what I'm talking about. You know, this is what I'm talking
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
But it's so funny because Dorit later on talks about the implication of things and words and all this stuff, but like she also does not understand the shit that she says to Garcelle or the shit that she says about Sutton. And like also similarly, I think they all do this to each other. They all use words that like you should not be using, but they never ever like want to take ownership of how shitty they are to other people. And that's honestly very entertaining to me.
That's I mean, mama, that's Housewives.
Baby, that's the show you're
That's
watching.
the premise.
Do you believe did you get any clarity about Dorit's Marshall's robbery?
No, ma'am.
She was like, "Box cars," and I was like, "What?"
I loved when she was like, "Have you heard of Marshalls? I've just recently heard about it." Like, "Bitch, you've been going to Marshalls on a, I don't know, a credit recovery credit card for a while now, buying, like, snacks there on the way to pick up the kids from school. We all know there's some trouble in paradise with the finances."
Also, I was very surprised to hear her tell us that when she married PK, he was bankrupt.
I know.
She was like, "He was bankrupt," and then I was like, "But you came on the show, like, 2 years later."
Or, like, yeah, they were newlyweds when they were on the show in a bizarrely massive home, so I'm like, "Okay."
Okay, yeah, and then she threw him that, like, weird helicopter birthday party, like, it was just a lot, so I was like, "So is he still like, where's the money?"
I could not handle when she was, like, talking about the marriage and how things were really bad after they wrapped filming, and then Andy was like, "Well, how are things now?" And she, like, looks out, like, she looks over to, like, camera A, and then she, like, looks at camera B, and then she looks at Andy, and she's like looks down, and she's like, "Andy, well, thank you for asking about that. I just wanna clarify, better than ever." Like,
So
what?
dramatic.
I actually burst out laughing when she
Yes,
said it, when I was watching this morning. I
yes.
was like, "That is the most psychotic response."
Just say yes or no, you fucking weirdo, like
And then talking about PK's sobriety, I mean, like, good for him. I I don't know, it was just always a lot. It was a lot. She's threw all dumped a lot at us.
yeah, it's like she took all of the various little plot points that have happened on the show, like, whatever Kyle's going through, she's like, "Oh, and also PK's not drinking, and also I'm having marriage problems, but no, also we're fine now." Like, you
It's
know
a lot for me.
yeah.
She is I get why Andy yawns. I'm exhausted by her presence, and all I wanna do is yank on that little hair on her forehead. Just
I
wanna
know.
pull it out.
Also, the hood was sliding back. Her little hijab was, like, falling over, and there was, like, a
On the
clip
job.
I can say that, but she like, her little the
Doing
little
her job, period.
she's exhausting. She's so annoying, and she also talks so long and so much, but I did love when Sutton said about when they were talking about sobriety, and Sutton said, "I don't know how many carcasses are on the floor every night."
I said, "Sutton, mama, I love you." That is such a funny thing to say. I don't know how many carcasses are on the floor every night. And when she knows she's being funny, she slips into this, like, even deeper, kind of, like, slur accent. She's like, "I don't know how many carcasses are on the floor every night."
I was so obsessed with it.
I know, same.
I love that little lady.
I love those little legs.
Um, they, like, ask Erica about her show, and I was like, um, the show didn't do well." But I think,
I
like,
think it did
Bravo
fine.
I think Bravo purposely didn't talk about how the residency was a flop because they have this Bet It All on Blonde show or whatever. They were like, "Well,
Mhm.
we can't talk about how shitty it is because we filmed a documentary." So
Well, and shout out to Danny and Evan from Page Six who host, like, the reality podcast, like, live shows in New York all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
That's who Sutton was talking about when she was like, "Well, I thought it was a very shady question the man asked me when he said I heard tickets were selling for $1. So I thought I was giving you a compliment when I said $7."
I love them. But also, like, again, she's shady. And then when Kyle's annoying and Kyle's like, you bought a horse and you have a dating coach. That's like your storyline. It's like
Mhm.
you all are being shady and mean to each other. Just say that you're being shady and mean to each other. It's okay.
It's okay. That's the show. That's why we're
Yeah.
here. I like it. We like
Yeah.
that.
Did you see the like timestamp war that Sutton and Crystal are having? Or no, Crystal and Dory are having against each
I
other?
did. I did.
I wanna see more of that Crystal, the one that shows up on the Jeff Lewis show.
I think she does show up sometimes, and I like it when she
Yeah,
does. But I like that she's not on I like that she's not on that level all the time.
yeah.
It's like a fun kind of, is Crystal gonna go there or not? I love her. I'm like really I really, really enjoy her, and I think that she brings a lot to the show in kind of like a more subtle way. And she always nails it at a reunion and always nails it in her interview chair.
Yeah, I think that, like, the way that Sutton and the way that Garcelle and Crystal function around somebody like Sutton is, like, gonna be shady like that, but then when the cameras are off, you could still, like, talk to Sutton like a real person.
Mhm.
Dorit is a caricature of a human being, and Dorit is an insincere person who thinks that she is coming off extremely sincere, and I think that's why Crystal and Garcelle don't fuck with Dorit because 'cause they're like, this is not a real human being. This is like not a person living in reality. This is not a person that we can even talk to. They even have space for that for like Erica,
Mhm.
because Erica taps in and out of Erica Girardi, Erica Jane. But when it
Mhm.
comes to Dorit is like on a whole other planet in a way that is, I think, difficult for them to even like communicate with her.
Totally agree. She's I don't know. There's no way in my brain for her to move forward after this season.
But I hope that
She's
she stays on because she is such a
really
fun punching bag.
Oh god, I guess. It's just kind of exhausting.
She always acts like she knows what she's talking about. Andy, but then she never does.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a delight. I like it.
I could I she talked about it, she addressed it, we've talked about it here, but there is so much more to her and PK's drama that it's crazy to me that they were able to get away with a huge article coming out that they're separated, and
Yeah.
they got to just kind of skate away at this reunion with not really many questions about it.
Yeah, and apparently he's seen having lunch with some woman without a wedding ring on, but 1, he looks like shit. 2, I'm pretty sure people are saying the other woman he's having lunch with is Shannon, and I was like, "That's disrespectful," because that woman is like Shannon 4 seasons ago. Shannon's done a lot of work on herself.
Is it a good or bad thing?
Yeah, so I feel or maybe because he's newly sober, he's connecting with Shannon Bedore, who is also allegedly newly sober. So,
Yeah, well, Shannon's sober during when it's sunlight.
Yeah.
And then at nighttime when the lights go down, she and Vicky, I think, link up and still do tequila shots at the Quiet Woman, unfortunately.
And then she's like, "Is that John's son? Is that John Jansen's son?" "No, that's John Jansen with his
I'm
mouth."
kind of excited for OC. That will be coming up probably in June.
Yeah, when is that come It's June, but that's still so
Probably.
so far away.
I know. We're gonna have just summer although Summer House, I
Is
kind of
so good.
and shout out to Cara Berry. I keep quoting this, but, like, she's so right when she, threaded or tweeted, whatever, that Summer House and Vanderpump Rules can't be good at the same time. It's a fact, and it's a rule that we abide by here, and I
Yeah.
agree.
Although I've not finished watching the episode from Vanderpump Rules this week, I'm gonna watch it tonight, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna talk about it tomorrow with Kelly Williams from the Laguna Biatch. But
Mhm.
um, I it's not that I don't like the season of Vanderpump Rules because this week's episode, it is hilarious to watch Sheena make things about herself. Like, that is entertainment to me.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
totally. I This episode was the best that we've had, like, so far,
for sure,
absolutely.
for sure. Yeah.
But I
But
still think there's just not a lot of there, you know?
yeah, but Summer House is incredible. I mean, I did not think that the turn was gonna happen that quick. I did not realize that we were gonna get into the Carl and Lindsay breakup stuff right away, but it's so good. And again,
It's
shout out to
good.
Lindsay Hubbard for being amazing reality TV.
I know. I like Lindsay, but yikes.
No, there's nothing to like about what she did, but everything to like about watching her do it.
Totally.
Perfect. She's perfect TV. Do you like West? I like West.
Wes, I love for the show. He seems like someone my sister would date.
I mean, he seems like somebody I would date.
Yeah, he's not for me sexually, but, like, I would love to, like, have a weekend, like, in a group, like, partying in the Hamptons, like, he would be so fun.
I would love to hang out with him.
Totally.
West, if you're listening, we would love to hang out with you.
Also, how iconic his mom is an OBGYN and his dad is, like,
A
a rodeo
rancher?
rancher. I'm like, "Work."
Yeah, good for you. And they, like, love each other and they travel to 50 states together?
I they're it's so cute, like, you can just tell his parents are fun too, like, I wanna meet them.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually, I think, what makes Paige so fun too, is a good set of parents will get you there. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's why you and Kix are so delightful because of your parents. Period. Prr. Okay.
Period. Siblings and parenting, period.
Hey, you know what I've been watching? House of Villains. Did you watch that?
I did.
I'm halfway through. It's so good.
It's so fun.
Isn't it so early 2000s VH1?
Yeah, the house looks fresh out of Flavor of Love.
Yes, it's so good, and everybody what I like about making a show of villains is that everybody is like, "No, I'm the star of the show," and they're just so over the top, and it's so silly. There's sound effects, like, it's just so good. I love it, and it's
Yeah, I
silly.
agree. Although I think they should have spread out that cast a little bit because that cast is so good. I saw some rumors for the next cast, and, it doesn't look as, like, stacked in a way. I don't know, like, those villains are all, like, superstars. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who would the stars be? Like, Brandy Glanville?
It was like well, Teresa was on it.
Oh,
Um, who else was on it? I'm not gonna, like, remember everyone. It was some people from the challenge
okay.
that, like, I don't even really qualify as villains
No.
necessarily. And then I don't know, it was a lot of, like, 3rd and 4th choices in my brain. Like, I would have thought of some better ones, but
Yeah, I think that also all reality TV is coming to the point where they're like, in order for a show to have really good ratings, we need to get Bravo people on it because people will watch it. We need a couple of housewives on a show, and then that show will do really, really well. So I think that like getting Jax on was a good idea, but I think that if they had thrown a housewife in there, like I know that Danielle came for like a second weirdly and toured the house at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is hilarious. But we need more housewives on other reality TV shows in order for that show to do good. And to that I say, yeah, thanks. Thanks for finally recognizing that housewives are the premium reality television.
I know, everyone I know that watch Traders that did not watch Bravo prior to it are like, "Phaedra is the best thing I've ever seen." And I'm like, "Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. How
yeah,
come?"
exactly. Apparently she's going to be on Married to Medicine for like 3 more years.
She signed, like, a long contract?
Yeah. Why?
I
Cuz
Yeah, I mean,
she's not good on it.
she's not as good on it. I think she'll get better as she gets more comfortable with the women.
Mhm.
It's just a different dynamic. I think she addresses it in the reunion where she's like, "I'm just not used to there's a level of sisterhood and camaraderie here that is not Housewives." Like, she
Yeah.
says that. She's
Yeah.
like, "I'm used to, like, going to bat every day
Yeah.
with
That's
Housewives, or here it's like it's just different." Which is
yeah,
why Marriage Medicine is so good, but, it's just
yeah.
different.
Don't care for Simone though. This season Simone's really let me down.
Oh, I love her always and forever.
She really is coming in hot in defense of that Gregory, and Gregory is a monster, and I can't keep watching Simone be like, "Gregory, are you okay? Are you uncomfortable? This is are you okay?" It's like, "Fuck off. Who cares? Why are you asking about this dude?" Like, I don't care for that.
I know, I think unfortunately, she tried to play, like, a housewives game of, like, ousting someone and picking sides and stuff, which they've never really done on Married to Medicine
They
before.
did with Mariah.
Oh, that's true, duh. She wasn't, like, spearheading that,
Yeah. Well,
but I think it was more like Toya
Toya, yeah.
and
Yeah.
so I think Toya was spearheading the quad thing, and
Mhm.
so Simone got behind it and is, like, team Gregory
Ugh.
because of that. But she's team Gregory, but then she also is so nasty in her confessionals about Sweet Tea, so I don't think she says team him as she seems. I think she was just trying to find a way to keep Quad off the show.
I would not be surprised if, like, they were not starting filming of the show yet or filming was held up because Quad hadn't decided if she was gonna be back on the show,
Mhm,
and Simone was like, "Well, fine, if Quad's gonna drag her feet, then let's just bring Gregory on because it's more interesting anyway, we're actually friends with him, right?" And once
mhm.
she like, you can't play producer, but I can totally see Simone being like, "Fuck Quad," screaming, "Fuck Quad,"
Yeah.
yelling at everybody, and then just, like, going on with it, but I will catch up on Married to Medicine. Thanks for the tip.
I think they're always good, honestly. I'm sorry, my Slack is going off.
Yeah, I heard that. Bup, bup, burp. Okay, anyway, any other thoughts, Thomasita?
No.
Okay, well, I
I
love
think we
you.
covered a lot. I love you too.
Can't wait to see you this weekend.
Okay, guys, I'm going to Nora's house this weekend and meeting the whole fam.
Yes.
Can't wait.
You're gonna bully a bunch of kids in a game truck, I can't wait.
I can't wait. What games are
Um,
gonna be in the truck?
what's that?
What games are gonna be in the
I
truck?
don't know.
It just, like, comes with
Yeah, it
games.
comes with, like, generic games. I think that most of the kids love to play Smash Bros. I think Smash Bros usually takes the cake.
Wait till they see what I can do.
I just love that they're gonna be like it's a but like, the kids that are coming, their parents are gonna be like, "Yeah, there's just there's an adult man screaming at the kids in the game truck."
I just really wanna play some you Kix and I are gamers,
I
like,
know.
and I think we don't talk about it a lot on the pod, but, like, we play video games together every night with Brian, Kix, and myself. The 3 of us, like, play games together every night before bed.
No, I love that because my first year of marriage, it was really, really fun because Fahad and I would play Mario Galaxy every single night, and we finished the game together, and it was so much fun.
I think that sounds amazing. Whenever people have judgment on like, video games like that, I'm like, "Go get a life."
No, my husband, every night as I'm reading in bed, I hear the soft sounds of Link humping or grunting onto a mountain or something because he's playing Zelda in
Yeah, he
bed.
makes a lot of
Ah!
weird noises. Uh.
The funniest is when he talks to a village woman and she's like, "Ah, and I'm like, "What are you watching?" He's like, "It's
I know,
just"
and then the subtitles are like, "My child has died. Can you help me? My child has died." And she's like, my,